Welcome everybody to today's chat around cybersecurity and business in a digital age. I'm going to be focusing more on the smaller business, and I hope that you enjoy the presentation today. I hope I'm able to enlighten you a little bit more and give you some tips on protecting yourself and your business. Some of the points that we'll go through today is around the digital age, cybercrime, and the small business. As the world becomes increasingly reliant on technology, the importance of cybersecurity rises. We need to adapt to digital market environments and take advantage of digital technologies to improve operations and drive new customer value. These are important goals for nearly every business. The digital age is a way to build networks without any borders, build an online community of your peers, and here we look at LinkedIn as an example. It's an opportunity to create collaboration. It's an opportunity to bring new people in at a larger scale into your network. The importance of cybersecurity and security technology. With the advance of technology in the world we find ourselves in, the risk of cybercrime also increases. In some cases, cybercriminals, or rather most cases, cybercriminals are using the most advanced technology. They have a business strategy. They have KPIs. They run their business of crime like any large organization. That is why it has become so important to keep financial data and confidential information safe and secure. It has to be top priority for any person involved in business. The most common definition of cybercrime is any computer-related act for personal or financial gain or harm, including forms of identity-related crime. Security research from the big cyber companies suggests that most businesses, small, medium, or large organizations, have unprotected data and poor cybersecurity practices in place, making them quite vulnerable to data loss. To successfully fight against malicious intent, it's imperative that companies make cybersecurity awareness, prevention, and best practices part of their culture. Now, small businesses are more susceptible to cybercrime simply due to the nature of the beast. Small companies are often left out with little or no information, ability, or resources to protect their investments. Owners are embedded in operations and success of the business and typically don't have additional staff to monitor and control potential breaches. Cybersecurity is one of the top considerations and should be considered as part of the cost of doing business. I'll give you a couple of tips later on, where to start with your cybersecurity practices. You might ask why small businesses are targeted, and it's for this very reason. First of all, would you even know if you've been compromised and what to do about it? Now, some of the trends for 2021. Remote workers will continue to be a target for criminals. Various platforms can be intercepted, and work from home is here to stay for a while. Home offices are not as secure as what they should be, and as a side effect, remote workforces could experience cloud breaches. Now, we all know we keep our data in a specific area. We use email services. These are examples of a cloud breach that could happen. The cybersecurity knowledge gap will remain an issue. Do you know how to ensure your router is safe? Do you know what devices are connected to your router? And then as a result of 5G increasing the bandwidth of connected devices, IoT, which is the information of things, will become more vulnerable to cyber attacks. Home cars, appliances, they're all going to be connected. So I've started here with 4 assets. Data. You don't want any data that you have compromised in any way. You want your customer databases secure. You want your email box secure. You want your social media to be secure. You want your devices to be secure. People experience identity theft, social engineering, phishing. You want to make sure they're equipped to identify suspicious emails. Infrastructure. You could experience things like DDoS attacks, which is denial of service, network intrusion, or malware. A DDoS or denial of service attack is where traffic is targeted at a server, network or group of computers to pull those resources away from legitimate services. Your router, for example, could be attacked, and on the dark web, the service goes for around $5, where you can actually hire a hacker to complete a denial of service attack. Applications: unauthorized installation of software, also DDoS attacks and misuse of software. Do you know what your staff are downloading? So there's no talk about breaches without discussing the dark web and the dangers of being breached. Here, the first example, the main thing that people go after is ID numbers, date of birth, email address, financial information, phone numbers, passwords. Most cyber criminals acquire the information they can sell or use. Stolen credit cards have now become the bottom of the barrel these days because they're so easily accessible. ID numbers are a main target because they're worth so much more to identity thieves. And identity thieves can commit miscellaneous crimes while pretending to be somewhere else. Cyber criminals can open new credit and bank accounts, commit tax fraud, access brokerage accounts, get medical treatment, and even apply for retail accounts. Now, the White House market has a number of services available. It organizes its illicit listings in many different sections. The online business section features bank logins, personally identifiable information, and a whole lot more. Now, the next example I took of the dark web. You could buy a fully auto assault rifle. How about offshore bank accounts in the counterfeiting center? Or here you can even rent a hacker. And you could even purchase skimmer devices, and they do ship to South Africa. The deep web content is not indexed because it is either password protected or behind a form. So the volume of information there is quite high, and therefore that's why it is not indexed by Google or Bing. Now, another nice tool to use is Have I Been Pawned, where you can put your email address in and have a look if your email account has been susceptible to a breach anywhere, and it actually gives you websites and that. And if you have been breached, you should ideally change your password. Okay, so how can you be breached? Phishing. We all know the phishing email, which contain a link, and clicking will take you to a fake web page. Might take you to a fake bank account, which looks legitimate, but in reality is just a lookalike. Malware. There's different types of malware. We have virus, which infects software, Trojans, which are like backdoors into the software, spyware, which you can get via your plugins or software, and then keyloggers, which is a form of spyware and it tracks your keystrokes. Mobile apps. Malicious apps contain a code snippet that can install malware on your devices. Besides this, the app may ask for unnecessary permissions that hackers may misuse to extract critical data, including your contact messages and media. Smishing is a form of phishing in which someone tries to trick you into giving them your private information via a phone call or SMS message. I'm sure you've all received that SMS where you've won a prize. Now, physical security, we look at the receptionist. Maybe you have a receptionist sitting in front. She could be distracted. Somebody could plug a USB key into her machine while she's up. You've got to have a look at the physical security as well. And then your insecure networks. I'll use an example of a router. It comes with a standard username and password, and those should be changed with immediate effect. So you might ask, how do you fit into the cybersecurity picture if you are not computer literate, if you're not technical, you don't have an IT person? And we're going to look at ways to set up some protection. The first step would be looking at training, and the training that we offer with regards to looking at your staff in to help equip them to handle certain phishing emails that they might get, or even social engineering. So we offer a full training platform. It is online, and it can be suited to every level of staff member that you have. Step 2, use an antivirus software. Look at a paid version. I like Internet Security by ESET. I find that quite a comprehensive antivirus piece of software. Mobile devices, make sure your mobile devices, your tablets are all password protected. And then backup. You can back up to the cloud. You can back up to a hard drive. I back up more than one place. I have a offline backup as well as a cloud backup. And then secure your Wi-Fi. Make sure your router name and your password has been changed. The next thing we'll have a look at is passwords. 16 characters or more. Use uppercase and lowercase words, and don't use personal details. Here I recommend using a phrase. Nothing personal, your dog's name, your children's name. Use a phrase. I like hot dogs, 2021 exclamation mark, something like that you will remember. And it's not difficult it's not a number of words and characters that you have to memorize. And then training, as I've spoken about, phishing and social engineering. Social engineering is when a person gets a phone call and the person on the other line pretends to be someone they're not to elicit information from them. 2FA, which is two-factor authentication, offers an additional layer of security, could be a PIN or a word, or an app known as an authenticator. Get an antivirus, which is a paid version. Protect your banking, your privacy, make sure it has anti-spyware, and then protect your IoT and webcam. Now, remote work is here to stay. The flexibility of doing business presents new opportunities for us all. It allows many small businesses to have access to large opportunities, innovate, and be cyber secure. Everyone has to start with ourselves first. Then what's next in the cyber workspace? Increased task automation and use of artificial intelligence, extra focus on keeping your identity safe, continuous investment in cybersecurity and security technology, a better conscious focus on personal security, and then greater emphasis on secure data habits. I'm going to now leave you with a quote by Steve Jobs. Technology is nothing. What's important is that you have faith in people, that they're basically good and smart. And if you give them tools, they'll do wonderful things with them. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending the presentation. If you've got any questions, there's my email address, there's the website. Ping me and I'll assist you. Thank you once again.